Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome to the 424th meeting of the Central Delhi Toastmasters Club. Pushing boundaries, challenging yourself is the only way forward to achieving success. Treading on new paths and exploring requires faith and determination in yourself. We at Toastmasters provide a platform and an opportunity to bring about a change in your personality and then reach your potential. The mission of our club is to provide positive learning and experience in which members feel empowered to develop greater communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Well, it's time to invite the extremely talented leader and president, Ms. Shivangi Mittal. Currently, she is pursuing BCom Honors program from LSRDU. A passionate Toastmaster and a dynamic member of our club, she joined Toastmasters to come out of her shell. Brimming with creativity and innovation, she constantly tries to bring forth a renewed sense of energy with her. Now, I will let her actions do the rest of the talking. Let's welcome President Toastmaster Shivangi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupal, for that great introduction. Before we move ahead, I would request everyone, let's close our eyes and pray for world peace for 30 seconds. All right, thank you, everyone. Now, before we move ahead, I would request everyone to switch on their cameras. It's like I'm talking to a screen. So can I please request you all to turn on your cameras, make it more interactive? Yes, thank you, everyone. Okay, so now put your hands at your sides. Sit straight, shoulders back, tummy relaxed. Keep your mouth slightly open to allow you to breathe. Now breathe normally and focus on your breath coming in and going out. And that is how you brush your brain. You know, one of the happiest countries in the world, Bhutan, is where the government officially encourages its people to brush their brains, just like they brush their teeth. In fact, gross national happiness is a phrase that was first coined by the fourth king of Bhutan back in 1972, when he declared it more important than GDP. And so the schools in Bhutan begin and end their day with a short mindfulness exercise of brain brushing. All it takes is for you to take out a few minutes to relax and focus on your breathing. So let's make sure that we give our brains a really good brush to get rid of our mental plaque. Well, on that mindful note, let's welcome the guests who are joining us today. I would request all the guests to kindly switch on your cameras and introduce yourselves to the club. So let's start with guest Navdeep. Could you please introduce yourself and also tell us how you got to know about CDTM? Hi, guest Navdeep, can you hear us?
Yes. Very good evening, everyone. As you can see, no suspense about it. My name is Navdeep Singh Manla. I'm a thorough professional, I would say. Just to start off, it's been like 17 years since I've been into different roles, from the management to the sales, to the hardcore sales. And currently, I am working with Grandeur Interiors. Grandeur Interiors is into luxury kitchens and wardrobes. We primarily procure it from the European markets, Italy and Germany, and we exclusively deal in few of the brands, which only we have got in India, marketed in India, and we are doing pretty fine. Grandeur as an organization is expanding a lot. Apart from that, I'm married. It's been like 12 blissful years since I've been married. I'm blessed with a son, quite sharp, better than me. And so with hobbies, currently don't pursue much, but I go to gym on and off. Currently, as you can see, I'm not in good shape, so I'm not going right now. But yes, that's about me. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Navdeep, for sharing that. And I'm very sure you're going to enjoy our theme today.
Sure.
Watch out for that.
Thank you.
Let's invite guest Ajay next. Would you like to come next? Okay, maybe guest Ajay. Okay.
I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Hello, hi everyone. Good evening, all of you.
Please switch on your camera. Guest Ajay, we would really love it if you could switch on your camera.
Hello.
Hi, it's great to see you. Please go ahead.
My name is Ajay Adwa. I'm doing from after that, I came back to after I left so I hear to master friend told me about master. My communication is very good.
Shivangi, you are on mute.
Okay. Thank you, guest Ajay, for sharing that. Let's move to guest Priyesh. Would you like to go next, please?
Yeah, sure. So currently, I'm from Kolkata. I had graduated in the month of November in the year 2020, and currently I'm preparing for some entrance exams like CAT, SAT, and NMAT, and few more. So along with that, currently I'm doing an internship with an NGO. It's named Ashman Foundation into HR domain. I am a recruiter for the post of assistant supervisor to that. And yeah, currently I'm self-learner and I do adapt. I can adapt to anything almost. I'm keen into public speaking these days. So that's the major role that for which I've joined Toastmasters. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that, guest Priyesh, and you're on the dose of the right platform if you're into public speaking. We hope you have a good experience.
You're welcome.
Also,
Thank you so much.
us is guest. Let me see. Guest Nikhil, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Nice to meet you all. So I'm joining this for the first time, so I'm new to this. Sorry for the mistakes I commit.
Can you please turn on your camera? That's a mistake we won't let you commit.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me.
Yes.
So nice to meet you all. So this is as I was saying, this is my first time out here. So I'm newbie to this, and I hope to make good out of this session. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm Nikhil. I'm from Jaipur, Rajasthan. I'm 21 years old. I'm doing my graduation as well as I'm doing chartered accountancy course. So I hope to improve my communication skills and get to interact with people, which would help in my professional as well as also in my communication skills as well. So yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, and we hope you achieve your personal development goals as part of CDTM. Also joining us is fellow Toastmaster Rajat. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, hi everybody. So very good evening to all of you. I am Rajat. I am from Jaipur, Rajasthan.
Okay,
And
please turn on your camera.
it's on. Okay, sorry. Can you see me?
Yes, you're
Yeah. Okay. So I have completed my graduation from BIT Misra Ranchi in 2019 and just now completed my masters from BITS Planning and currently working in SAP Labs Bangalore. So in the pandemic, I was working from home from past 2 years and really waiting to go back over there.
great. Thank you for sharing that. We welcome you to CDTM, Rajat.
Thank you so much.
Next, let's invite Rajat. Oh, sorry. Next, let's invite Tushar.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. So first of all, I'm really very sorry to as I didn't rename myself as Tushar Goel instead of iPhone. So the thing is, I'm very new to Zoom meetings. Actually, I used to work with the telecom industry, and I'm working as a sales manager into some product selling. And I used to work over the Teams meetings, so I'm not very much familiar with the Zoom meeting. So this is my first session over the Toastmaster, and I'm very new for Toastmaster. Actually, I came across at very first time to the Toastmaster concept. So I hope it will bring some new things, and definitely people will educate me. And happy to join you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Tushar. And I vouch for CDTM. Once you join, we will also teach you how to work with Zoom.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay, we also have guest Pawan joining us today. Would you like to go next?
Hello, Shivangi. Sorry, I cannot, means my webcam is not working properly. So this is the problem. Actually, next time I will join via my phone. This time I joined using laptop. So about myself, as Pawan is my name, and uh, I'm from Sultanpur. Sultanpur is a small town nearby Lucknow, the capital city of UP. I have been in Delhi NCR since 2014-15. So last 7-8 years I have been in Gurgaon and Noida. So I'm working in MNC bank. I joined Toastmaster and I hope that my public speaking will improve and I will get a more confidence while speaking publicly. So basically, since I'm in a bank, I need to enhance my presentation skill, and the confidence building activity. About my hobbies, I love to travel to Himalaya. So I have been means basically Trans Himalayan. So Trans Himalayan means I have been Ladakh twice. I have been Spiti in peak of January, peak of winter. So yes, so these kind of activity I do. Several times I have been in Manali, Kasol, Rishikesh, all those small areas. So this is about me. And indoor activity, I love to play on Xbox. So I have recently purchased, not recently purchased, last year I purchased Xbox One X, and I love to play with that. So this is about me. Thanks, Simon.
Thank you for sharing that. And seeing your love for travel, I would urge you to watch out for our speaker one, Pragati, today.
Oh, sure.
Okay, well, thank you for joining. A very warm welcome to all the guests joining us today. I would request you all to stay till the end for the guest briefing and also look out for a special segment called the table topics. You can participate in that. It's an impromptu segment. Okay. Now, without any further ado, let's quickly invite the host for our meeting today. So help me welcome on the stage Toastmaster of the Day, Achal Jain, with her theme, Marriage, a Celebration. Marriage, a Celebration, Toastmaster Achal Jain.
Thank you, Shivangi. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to Central Delhi Toastmasters 424th meeting. I want everyone to be very attentive and be ready with the chat box, as I'll be asking a few questions for which you are either required to reply in the chat box or by way of raise of thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay. Let's have thumbs up. Okay. So let me share the screen first. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So today's theme is marriage, a celebration. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you listen to the word marriage? The answers that I receive from various auxiliary role players are commitment filled with sacrifices, union of two people, losing independence, responsibilities. Great. Lots of opinion. Now let me ask you one more question. If you are going to visit a city for the first time and you don't know the directions, the nice places to visit, mouth-watering food, the language, time, weather, the best option available with you is, can I have some guesses, please?
Need to ask somebody.
Ask Google.
Ask an experienced person.
Wait
To
a
take
minute.
suggestion from the native people.
Just a moment.
Or somebody who has already visited that place.
Yeah, ask Google. So this way, Google has become part and parcel of our life. The level of trust we have built on Google is something far beyond. We trust our spouses who are sharing their thoughts, opinions. The reason behind this is we would never allow anyone to take our decisions, but somehow we are quite comfortable when Google is doing the same. Don't you all agree with this?
Completely agree.
One day while sitting idle, I thought, why not to ask Google what it thinks about marriage? So here is the result. Let us analyze the first point. This means that there is some sort of partnership between people of two different genders. The only difference which seems to be based on this definition is that two people shaking hands are all dressed up in a party wear dress, maybe like this. Okay, let's move on to the other definition, which says a combination or mixture of elements. Wow, it sounds nice. I never knew that we are elements or we turn into one after getting married. शायद तभी माँ कहती थी कि बेटा तू बदल गया शादी के बाद. That's why all relatives keep saying that, beta, you have changed a lot after marriage. Well, jokes apart, what a great analysis of definition by Google. Had I not asked Google, I would not have known what it thinks about marriage. So a lesson, every time Google may not be correct, start giving due importance to your spouses. This will help you lead a happier and fuller life. Let me ask you a question. If you want to compare your marriage to a fruit, what would it be? I want everyone to reply in the chat box, please. I'm waiting for 5 to 10 seconds. Mango, someone say mango. Please be interactive. Jalebi. That's not a fruit, Ritvik. Mango, sweet and sour, apple. Okay, great, great. Okay, now let me explain the structure of meeting for the benefit of guests. The meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first is prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the projects and paths they have chosen. The second part of the session is table topics round, where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. Guests are welcome to participate in this round. The third and final round is the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as the other aspects of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his team. So it's time to invite our army of auxiliary role players who will be evaluating 6 different aspects of the meeting. To keep track of time spent by each speaker, please help me welcome the timer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Anushka Koshi.
Hello, everyone. I believe marriage is where two individual companions for life face hard times and good times as one unit. And I believe when the time is right, you will be ready for this holy communion and a wonderful journey as partners. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My name is Anushka, and I'm timer for today's meeting. I shall be keeping track of the time taken by each speaker today. I would request all the speakers and Toastmasters to speak within the allotted time. Please keep track of time as per the protocol and agenda. I shall be sharing my screen now. Can I get a quick confirmation if you're able to see my screen?
Yes.
It's
Yes. So there are three segments. First is prepared speech, where there are a lot of times for it. When the speaker hits 5 minutes, I shall be showing the green card.
sorry to jump in. Could you please convert into the slide mode?
Sure, no problem. When the speech hits the 5 minutes, it goes. I will show the green card. When the speech hits 6 minutes, I will show the yellow card. When the speech hits 7 minutes, I will show the red card. The protocols are same, but with different timings for other speakers, table topic speakers. When the time hits 1 minute, it's a green card. When the time hits 1.5 minutes, it's a yellow card. When the time hits 2 minutes, it's a red card. And for speech evaluators, when the time hits 2 minutes, it's a green card. When the time hits 2.5 minutes, it's a yellow card. And when the time hits 3 minutes, it's a red card. Please note that the buffer time of 30 seconds is for all speakers on upper and lower sides, except the table topic speakers, where the buffer time is only 30 seconds and only on the upper side. That's all from my end. I shall be presenting my report during evaluation segment. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. Anushka, one thing I would like to say, the first speaker is giving her icebreaker speech. The timing will be 4 to 6 minutes. Please note that.
Sure.
Okay. So next comes to track the good and not so good usage of grammar. We have grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Sadaf Ashraf.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So, according to me, marriage is two people come together and make promise to share every season of life together and take the responsibility of each other happiness. Like as Leo Tolstoy quoted, marriage is like watching the color of leaves in the fall, ever changing and more stunningly beautiful with each passing day. Good evening to fellow Toastmaster and esteemed guest. I, Sadaf Ashraf, playing the role of language evaluator today. So today the word of the day is forgative. Forgative. Forgetive. The meaning of this word is capable of imagining or inventing things. Its synonym is creative, ingenious, or adroit. The uses of this word as an adjective in the sentence, for example, since the human brain is forgative, it can easily image and invent original ideas. So moving ahead, as a language evaluator, I will tell the good uses and not so good uses of English at the end of meeting. And the mode of communication should be English. And if somebody use any phrases in other language, kindly translate them back in English. And I encourage everyone to use the word of the day in their speeches more often times. And I request to all of you to appreciate them by showing thumbs up. That's it for now. I will come at the end of the meeting. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you, TM Sadaf. I would request you to please share the word of the day in the chat box. Now, to keep track of ahs and ums during the meeting, we have the counter of the day, Toastmasters Parshita Verma.
Good evening, everyone. I, Sparshita, will be playing the role of our counter today. As an R counter, I will note down the use of filler words such as so, well, you know, filler sounds such as or, repetitive words or phrases like I, this means, etc., short and long pauses. A married couple has to put in some amount of efforts to make their life a cherishable one. But during this process, there are times when they fail to put each other first and communicate regularly. Sometimes they even conceal their secrets from each other. So these are few things that can ruin a marriage and are often a result of egoism and busy schedules. But they need to recover quickly from such instances to keep their life happy and not affect their marriage. Similarly, while speaking, you may have few instances of ahs and ums and even pauses that are awkward, but it is important that we don't let them overshadow our speech and use our furtive minds to recover quickly and not affect our speech. So with this, I urge you all to abstain from the use of these filler words and become an effective communicator. I'll present my report in the evaluation segment. Thank you. Back to Tia Modi.
Thank you so much, Sparshita. Now, to make sure that rules and regulations are followed and adhered to, please help me welcome the parliamentarian of the day, TM Praveen Kumar.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Building self-discipline and thinking positively is sometimes hard to do, but we all need discipline in all the challenges and problems of our daily life. We should consider building self-discipline with a positive mindset. Same goes the case with marriage. A happy marriage requires tremendous self-control and self-discipline. Self-discipline in a relationship requires that one should be open and honest and open for communication with each other. Similarly, the discipline is also required in Toastmasters meeting. I am Praveen Kumar and I will be playing the role of parliamentarian today. Now I will be sharing with you some rules that should be followed by everyone during the meeting. The rules are as follows. Everyone should keep their audio muted at all time during the meeting unless they are speaking or if there is a need to speak. And phone should be kept silent at all the times. And video should be turned on at all times during the meeting. And no one should indulge in any form of eating when they are on the screen. And there should be no negative reference to any race, caste, or class. And the topics of politics and religion are not taboo, but the speaker should be sensitive when they are speaking regarding to these topics. And these are all the rules which should be followed. And I expect that everyone would be following these rules. And I will present my report in the evaluation segment. So this is all from my side, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, TM Praveen. To make sure that we all are attentive during the meeting, please help me welcome the listener of the day, TM Rajan, to introduce the role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. I will be playing the role of listener in today's meeting. There is an ancient and well-known philosophical riddle that asks, if a tree falls in the forest and there is nobody around to hear it, does it make sound? A scientific view to this will say that while the tree will make waves in the air, we need ears to hear the sound. So my question is, if a Toastmaster present his or her speech, for example, and nobody is listening, does it really makes a communication? I believe listening is absolutely necessary and but often overlooked. We live in an age which we call it as a age of communication. Certainly with a lot of Androids, text, tweets, emails. There is a lot of talking going on, but how much listening can there really be? Biology has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. To listen at least twice as much as we speak. Why listening is so important? Let me give 3 reasons to strengthen the importance. Number 1, it helps us to understand the other side. It helps us to connect with the other human beings. It helps us to create bonds and build trust. It helps us to connect with the it it makes it sorry it makes it more likely that the other person will listen us to too. As a listener, I will be framing certain questions from the meeting and will be asking you the same in the evaluation segment. So I urge all the guests and the members to kindly be attentive throughout the meeting and be an effective listener. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Rajan. Before I move ahead, I would request everyone to please kindly switch on their cameras. Even I can notice even the role players are not switching on the cameras. How can we expect the other players to? This will not help. So finally, calling on stage the Toastmaster of the day. Sorry, Joke Master of the day, TM Tarun Nanda.
Thank you, TM. Yeah, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is it audible? Please confirm.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When you say a sorry to someone, that doesn't mean you're wrong. That just means you value the person more than being right. You prefer to save the person than being right. You prefer the relationship more than being right. You are willing to keep the ego aside and transform that ego into humility. Do you know a man who says sorry when he's wrong? He's called honest. A man who says sorry when he's not sure, he's called wise. And a man who says sorry even when he's right is called the husband. Okay, thank you so much. Back to TM audience. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So here's a question from you all. What do you think is the right age of getting married? Can I have reply in the chat box? Quick reply, please. No age is the right age, none. Okay, let me move ahead. Now let's move on the first round. The first speaker of this round is TM Pragati Jain, who will be attempting her icebreaker speech today. To evaluate her speech, we have Toastmaster Darshan Singh. Toastmaster Darshan Singh, I would request you to please read out the speech objectives.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. Yeah, we welcome, first of all, I would like to welcome the speaker to the CDTM family because it's an icebreaker and the officially start of the journey of the Toastmasters. So icebreaker is always special that it marks your journey to start of the journey in the Toastmasters family. So the purpose of the icebreaker is to introduce yourself to the club, and timer may note the time. It will be the 4 to 6 minutes, and I would like to encourage the speaker to give your best, and all the best for the icebreaker. And over to you, TM Odi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TM Darshan. Introducing TM Pragati, who is a very strong person and has the capability to achieve anything if she truly deserves in it. As per her opinion, marriage is successful only when sacrifices are done from both ends. Since it is her first speech, I would request once again everyone to encourage her by clap of hands and keeping your camera on mode. TM Pragati, breaking of conventional rules, TM Pragati.
Thank you so much, TM of the day. Welcome to the world of Pragati. Today, I will take you through an adventurous journey which has changed me and my family in our approach towards our life. It's a story about why a married, conventional, and working woman went to trek for 10 days, all alone, leaving her family and kids behind. Normally, in a family, people would travel together for vacations till the time I decided that I want to travel alone. The concept of traveling alone did not exist back then. When I first proposed this idea of trek trip in my family, everyone in our home freaked out and questions pouring in. Are you crazy? What would happen if you needed something? What would happen if something goes wrong? Endless questions. I made them understand. See, I'm traveling with an unknown group of 24 people. Rather than being excited about me, again the list of questions pouring in. Like, there would be males and females too? How many males? Living in this male chauvinist and patriarchal society, all this was very much expected. Then I decided this is high time we should outgrow from all these notions which are of no relevance. I told them very clearly, this time I have made up my mind and I will do for myself rather than doing for any other. I want to take up my own responsibility and face new challenges. They were not 100% convinced, but they had no options also left. This time I was very much determined. I must tell you, I'm a very adventurous person by nature. I love exploring new territories. I love nature. I love to walk. And I want to experience the feel and the lap of nature. For that purpose, I chose the Rupkund trek. After choosing the difficult one, I realized that I need to work upon my fitness levels also. And I did that without losing a single day. Rupkund is a high altitude trek in the Uttarakhand Strait. The mystery of the Rupkund trek is that 300 human skeletons lying up at 15,750 feet. The taste of great adventure awaits you as you climb through 6,000 feet to 16,000 feet in just 6 days. The trek is indeed a spectacular one. Let me take you through my journey. From Delhi, I started for Kathgodam by train, and I met 3 more people going for the same trek. Immediately, I spoke with them and made acquaintances. From Kathgodam to Lohajang, which was our base camp, it is the road journey of 10 to 11 hours. The nature and everything during the road journey was just a marvel. Though I was a bit scared and skeptical about completing the trek, and also I was worried about my family and my kids back home, and further going there would be no phone signals as well. Anyways, I kept my mind little at rest. We reached and got our health assessments done. The very next day, our ascent started from Lohajang to Gairoli Patal. And it was a 5 to 6 hours long trek. We were completely exhausted by the time we reached up. Next, from Gairoli Patal to Bedani Bugyal at 11,000 feet, the miles of lush green meadows were just waiting for us. For sure, they're the most beautiful ones in our country. They're absolutely landscaped and carpeted ones, breathtaking campsites. The quiet nights in the middle of wilderness also gave me a time to ponder about myself, to reflect on life. From Bedani Bugyal to Patal Noshni in just 4 hours. It is a deep virgin forest. The oaks, the brown carpet of leaves lying there on the ground, and walking through that and crunching under your feet shows you that you're so tiny in this earth. One cannot conquer everything. The Mother Nature or God is above us all. From Patal Noshni to Bhagavasa and finally to Rupkund. The alpine, the snow, the icy section, all the thrill was there. Though the journey was very steep, one mistake and anything could happen. One was required to be vigilant at all the time. Though the trek was very strenuous, but that climb gave me the feeling of accomplishment. We're lucky enough to climb up at Junar Gully at the height of 16,500 feet. We could see majestic Nand Khati and Trishul in front of our eyes. Panoramic view of the snow-capped mountains were just jaw-dropping. I could not hold myself and tears rolled down on my eyes. And this view has always stayed with me for a lifetime. Going further, our descent started from Bhagwavasa to Lohajang to our base camp in just 2 days. Trust me, the descent was more difficult than the ascent. This is one journey which has changed me as a person, made me more compassionate and vulnerable, taught me and my near ones the lesson of believing in oneself. I felt content and had a sense of achievement after returning. I also learned how to work in a team and living minimalistically. And from there on in our family, we're also liberated from the old conventions. Thank you, everyone. Please do not go away. I'm sharing my few glimpses from the trek. And I'm just sharing my screen. Allow me some time, please. Is it visible by everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can you see it? Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster Pragati. I would request everyone to please appreciate her by clap of hands. Everyone is also requested to please kindly give the feedback in the chat box. Well, Pragati, you made me walk through your journey, travel journey. Thank you for such a wonderful speech. The second speaker for this round is TM Shelly Sharma. To evaluate her speech, we have Toastmaster Sagar Dugal. Toastmaster Sagar, I request you to please read out the speech objectives.
A very good evening to all. Today, I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Shelly Sharma. And she is delivering her level 1 projective speech from the team collaboration path. And the purpose of this project is for a member to present a speech on any topic, receive a feedback, and apply the feedback to the next speech. And the timer may note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish you over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sagar. So introducing Toastmaster Shelly Sharma, who is from Ghaziabad Toastmasters Club. Welcoming Toastmaster Shelly Sharma. Shelly Sharma, unleash your potential. Unleash your potential, Toastmaster Shelly Sharma.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Don't we all aspire to win? Yes, we all do. Everybody has that dream to win. But the key is to have that willpower to put in all the hard work to prepare oneself to win, which motivates you to reach the pinnacle of success. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. We have encountered in our life that when we are growing and striving to get where we want to go, in that case, we have to cross the bridge and do the work to go where we aspire to go. Because if you stay in the land of familiarity and normality, you will stagnate there, knowing the fact that it prevents you to move forward. It affects you to reach for a new destination, a new land where adventure, excitement, and happiness are waiting for you. Once you are willing to put in all the hard work, then you will notice an ocean of opportunities before you. At this time, let me share an instance from my academic life. When I was instructed to read the daily news headlines in front of the school assembly in the morning. Initially, I was on pins and nails and was full of self-doubt. as many questions were coming to my mind, as what will happen if I made mistake? Will people laugh at me? Will I be receiving scoldings from my class teacher? So out of fear, I planned to skip my school classes for continuous 5 days to save myself from having eggs on my face. I was disappointed in me. Can you just give a thought about my abysmal condition of not even getting mustered the courage to read the news headlines? My friends and relatives always pick on me for my behavior. They were bothered as how will I be able to stand up to face the real life challenges? And my parents were of the opinion that she would be able to experience everything once she stepped on to her college life. Now, I can say that they were right. Slowly and steadily, I did realize that one should have the participative spirit to take risk in order to stand out from the crowd. Furthermore, I decided to be venturesome in accepting challenges which I thought was not my cup of tea. Surprisingly, one day I won the award for the best leader in successfully organizing 2 days event at my college. This movement catapulted my confidence to the next level. And afterwards, I performed every task with the belief that I can do it to explore my hidden potentials. So do not fear failure, rather fear not trying. And I believe that if we wake up every day and want to maximize our potential that we have inside ourselves, we first have to believe what we are doing and why we are doing it. We have to have a clear mindset. We have to discover our own gaps and the gaps in the world in which we want to serve. We need to be mindful to unleash our potential and skills to maximize our performance so that we can be formative in unleashing our potentials. Have you ever been in a situation where you have tried so hard and achieved something that you have set your heart on? I'm pretty sure that you'll all be thinking about the moments when you were euphoric on the success of your plan. That was awesome source. So I want to disseminate the idea to think from this day forward that you are actually equipped for great creation. Anything that you set your mind to believe, you can actually create it, because you are a child of source. And the truth is that you are wired for greatness. You are wired to create great things. As Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, had been of the opinion that if you have the belief that you can do it, you shall surely acquire the capability to do it, even if you may not have it at the beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shelly. That was great. Again, I would request everyone to please turn on their cameras, please. Can I have your beautiful faces, please? Now, everyone is requested to please give the feedback in the chat box. The third speaker for this round is PM Ritvik Dash, who will be attempting level 3 project 1 from the presentation Mastery Path. To evaluate his speech, we have Toastmaster Ankit Sinha. Toastmaster Ankit, I request you to please read out the speech objectives.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. And actually, so I'm sorry I cannot turn on my video because I'm on the way and light is not that much. So today Toastmaster Ritik is going to deliver persuasive speaking from presentation mastery path, and allotted time is 5 to 7. Objectives are is to understand the types of persuasive speeches and deliver one such persuasive speech today. So all the best, Toastmaster Ritik. Thank you.
Yeah, introducing Toastmaster Ritvik Dash, who is civil service aspirant and desires to be a poet and philanthropist too. As per him, marriage is losing independence. Toastmaster Ritvik, it's not me, it's us. It's not me, it's us. Toastmaster Ritvik.
Hey, the government has banned the use of using words like fair, tall in different platforms like newspapers for marriage proposals and all of that. What rubbish is this? Why will they ban all using these words? What? Because this will break down the stereotypes of beauty standards and will promote equality and all of that. Hey, my friend Aditya is calling. Yeah, Aditya, how are you? Hey, have you heard of the new law? That beauty standard one? Yeah. You just see that they are banning these words using different words. These were sometimes, it looked as a misogynistic at times, or maybe breaking the stereotypes of beauty. How do you feel about it? I guess you will also feel good about it. Well, I don't think good about it because that may increase the fakeness of the beauty standards. Why to break that? Or maybe because you are tall and fair, you don't get sympathized to the ones who are tagged as ugly. Oh, no, 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 no. I didn't mean that. I just meant that basically because who will, because it will, fakeness and all of that. Well, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Hands on heart, tell me, when was the last time you judged someone's opinion by thinking whether you profit from it or make a loss? If you don't think of it, whether you make a loss or a profit, you are the one who goes for constructive criticism. You are the one who thinks for a good change. Kudos to you. Everywhere you go, starting from the debates in the morning, in the tea stalls, wherever you go, everyone is educated, giving their own views. But no one actually thinks from a perspective of a judge where it doesn't think whether he will profit or make a loss out of it. Given the instructions of the parliamentarian, I cannot use certain political things here. And this is the reason I'll be taking a hypothetical situation of me visiting a tea stall and discussion about this beauty standard thing. I went to a tea stall. I found some of these guys debating. The ones tall and fair, they are actually opposing this. And the ones who are short and fair, short and dark, they are actually going for it. And there was this one person, one man. He was tall and fair. He was handsome. He actually supported this move. Can you just think of it, how intellectual that was? He didn't put it to his own advantage that it would actually profit him, keeping up those beauty standards. He actually broke those stereotypes. He looked forward for the country. He was selfless for the society. He was not thinking like an individual. He was thinking like a mass. And that's how I learned from him. And do you know what is the need of all this? There is a need. The need for a world where we all stay harmoniously. The need of a world where we all live together happily. We help each other. We are not selfish anymore. And this is the reason this is needed. Start becoming selfless. And if you want to know the solutions out of it, I have been forgettive enough to dig deep into my knowledge and make out some solutions out of it. Let's start teaching our kids in the schools. Let's give them more teamwork assignments. Let's teach them how to work in a team. Teamwork, team spirit, esprit de corps. That's how we're going to learn. And when they will do this, our world will change. No more wars, no more hostility, only peace. And this is the reason I would like to address some objections to this also. Some people think, oh, in the world is a mundane world. We got to be cruel with the cruel ones. Absolutely. I know this world is a mundane world. But even if this is an objection, we can create a change. The first stepping stone towards taking our country to this world, to the zenith of progress. And let's be the change. Let's become more humble. Let's keep our ego aside. Let's think of the society as a whole, like a selfless person. And that's how we can mitigate these objections. And can you just visualize the world, a utopia, a euphoriatic effect? Can we just imagine that? We all smiles, everyone coming together, peacefully staying together, and a world where we'll all think about progress, improvement, and building peace more and more as we go forward. And for to this, I have a call to action. Let's come together. Let's build a better world. And for as PM Achal is also speaking on marriage, let me also connect my speech with that. Marriages are built on the bricks of compromise. As the joke master also pointed out, that when you are keeping aside your ego, you are actually making your love more important than being right. That's something we got to learn. Being selfless. Think like a couple in a relationship, not like an individual. And that's how you can make small relationships better. Not only a marriage with a girlfriend or a wife or a boyfriend. We can also build relationships on these lines with our other people, other relatives. And that's how we can build a better world. And all of this coming together, let me tell you, this Toastmasters community is also a happy community. And if someone thinks like this of being selfish, the whole community has to suffer. But if everyone comes together, helps, the roles are empty, someone goes for the go for the vacant slot, and MP makes it fulfilled. He goes and speaks out. He cooperates, comes in time. Everyone together, healthier society, healthier cooperation. That's how we can work, and that's how we can actually make a better society, better Toastmaster community, better world. Therefore, I would please request everyone to unmute and say this slogan: think me, don't think me, think we. I repeat, please unmute everyone and please chant with me. Don't think me, think we. Don't think me, think we. Thank you so much. That's all from my side. Over to the TOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ritvik. That was great speech. I would like to request everyone to please give the feedback in the chat box. And Techmaster is also requested to kindly launch the poll for best speaker. Okay.
The polls are now on everyone's screens. Everyone, including the guests, is requested to vote very quickly in the next 10 seconds. We're at 75% votes, requesting everyone to vote in the next 3 seconds. Very quickly, 3, 2, 1, and closing the polls now. Thank you, everyone. Back to the TMOD.
Yeah, a question from you all. A celebrity couple you admire the most. Please reply in the chat box. Quick responses, please. Virat, Anushka. Other responses? Virat, Anushka. Abhishek, Aishwarya. Okay. Even I am in favor of Virat, Anushka. Okay. Let's move ahead. Let me share the screen once again. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word marriage? Let's ask Google about this. So it says marriage is full of responsibilities, loss of freedom, need to attend function, even not in mood, no single movie tickets, so loss of independence, no friends outing, will have to answer this spouse if you are late. It's going to be a big list and it continues to goes on. My mind is gonna blast. I'm not going to marry. Why don't people reconsider before getting married? These are the various thoughts in the mind of a teenager who is full of enthusiasm and living life like a free bird. But as we grow up, we tend to forget all this and start to dream of getting married. But why? Because it is very well said that शादी के लड्डू जो खाए वो पछताए और जो ना खाए वो पछताए, तो खाकर ही पछताना बना. Those who eat wedding laddus repent, and those who do not repent. It's better to repent after eating them. Okay, moving ahead. Coming to the table topic session, which is hosted by Toastmaster Vineet Nair. He has done graduation in the field of finance. He thinks that our society is obsessed with the age of getting married rather than the concept. Welcoming on stage Toastmaster Vineet Nair with his table topics.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anchal. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome to the third and the fun segment of the evening, the table topic session. Table topics enables all the members to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. So I'll be calling out volunteers and the speaker will be given a topic to speak on for about 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds buffer time on the upper side. I encourage all the special mention to all the guests to actively participate in this segment to enhance their ability to think on their feet. So without further ado, let's have some volunteers. So I would request if those who are interested, please raise your hand so I can pick them for the first speech. So I see Toastmaster Rashmi.
Yes.
Toastmaster Rashmi, yeah. So let me just share my screen. What TV show or movie would you actually like to see happen in real life? Toastmaster Rashmi. Toastmaster Rashmi, what TV show or movie would you actually like to see happen in real life?
Well, thank you, Table Topic Master Vineet Nair. Although I am not in a habit of watching TV at all, but still I am a movie buff, so I can relate to one of the movie, right? Well, it is Three Idiots. Sorry, it's not sorry, Three Idiots. It's a Amir Khan starrer movie. I'm confusing the name actually. Dil Chahta Hai. I got confused. Dil Chahta Hai, because what has been shown in that movie? The friendship lasts forever. The friends, they really understand each other. They need each other and they support each other at every crucial point of their life. So I also was lucky to have such good friends in my life. We had also enjoyed such great moments as the characters in the movie keep on enjoying wherever they go with my friends. I also had the opportunity to enjoy those moments, and I keep on remembering those moments very often. Whenever I remember those moments, I'm always full of joy. So John Keats has really said, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So thing of beauty can be nature for him. But for me, the thing of beauty is dosti, that is friendship. So although friendship has become a rare phenomenon nowadays, when I am in class and I put this question to the friends, who is your best friend? Believe me, children do not raise their hands. In this materialistic world, they've forgotten the word best friends. And today, they are at loss of words if you ask them. So again, I feel proud that we belong to that generation when we had good friends, when we had a lot of good friends to rely upon. And till today, because of technology and all social networking sites, we are in touch with them. But the connection that we had at that time really makes the bond stronger even today. So that is the movie Dil Chahta Hai, which I would like to replicate in my life once again, if I get the opportunity. Thank you, and over to you.
Beautifully spoken, Toastmaster Rashmi. And I guess everybody had an obsessiveness to go to Goa after seeing that movie. And I would also like to, replicate that. So moving on, let's have some few volunteers. So I see guest Navdeep. Yeah, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me just share my screen. Your Yeah. So if you would get to
drive a car.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. The screen just got lost. Yeah. So if you get to drive a car with wings for a day, where would you go?
That's very, it's a sort of a subjective question. Well, I've been, it's always been a sort of a tussle with my wife that she's a outdoor person. She always like to go to different places, to the stations, and I, being a true Capricorn, I find peace and solace being alone. So it's a very it's something which is contrary to my beliefs. So basically, the basic idea behind having a car with the wings is like you want to, it's you, your heart, your soul that wants to go to a place where you find peace. I think a person, if in case a person wants to find peace, he doesn't need to go anywhere. I think the person has to be with himself, has to find joy, has to feel for the inner contentment, which is always there with a person who thinks naturally, being innocent, who feels for the people, who feels for others, and who is not very materialistic. I think that is something which is um, today, in today's time, I think, which is grossly missing in a lot of people. People are quite, aggressive. They are quite materialistic. People are looking for pleasures rather than joy and contentment. So that is one thing that I feel, that is something which I'm speaking from my heart. It is something which is not with the topic, but that is what I feel. So I just thought to share it with you. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Navdeep. And yes, indeed. I mean, you do not need a flying car just to be in peace with yourself. So yeah, that's very well said. So moving on. So yeah, Toastmaster Samkit Jain.
Yes.
So let me just share my screen. Would you rather change something in the past or find out what happened in the future? Toastmaster Samkit. Toastmaster Samkit, would you rather change something in the past or find out what happened in the future?
Okay. So if I have, I will obviously change something which happened in past. And I think that's an obvious answer. I'll take out coronavirus from the past. That will change a lot of things for all of us. So basically, I'll be removing the coronavirus, which originated from China. Then maybe we'll be having a Toastmaster meeting at some other center. That will change a lot of things for all of us, which will make it more exciting even for me and all of us. Because after removing the virus, we can go out without the mask, because the mask have become a new normal, which I think everyone will love and will like to have in their life. Then removing coronavirus will help us come to our normal life, which will allow us to go out of stations, move out without any tension, and first of all, not take any test. So that will be the thing which I will be removing from our past. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samket. I think you touched a lot, like everybody's heart with that, removing the COVID thing. I mean, everybody's in sync with that so that we could all meet. So kudos to that. And moving on. So Toastmaster Rajat Jain. So let me just share my screen. If I could time travel, Toastmaster Rajat, if I could time travel.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinith, for providing me such a great topic. If I could time travel, I can go anywhere in the past, back, or in the future. Of course, I can go to any. I would like to go to any place. But what I'm taking this as an advantage, like that, I am having the time machine with me right now, and I can use that whenever I want to go. So I will go in the future, and again come to this position, and again take the time travel to go back to some other position. So for if I have the opportunity to travel the time, definitely I will go to the past. I would love to enjoy again those happy moments of my life as a kid, where I was playing outside, enjoying with my friends, roaming here and there, and so many good things that we were doing without any tension or hesitations. Currently, like in this materialistic world, or this office world, so we all are like completely packed up with so many things with us. But I definitely would like to go back to my childhood life, where there was no tensions, no pressures, everything was happy, with no like responsibilities also. And definitely I would like to go to the future also at the same time, to see how the future is going to be looking like, how the world will be there, what are going to be the people thinking, with whom I'm going to be getting married, so of course, definitely, and so many things. So I would like to go to the future also and the past also. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajat. Looks like you will be fully utilizing your time travel with past and the
Definitely.
future as well. So with that, we come to an end with the table topic session. So I would request the tech master to raise the ballots for the for the table topic session.
The polls are now on everyone's screens. Let's vote for the best table topic speaker very quickly in the next 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.5, and we're ending the polls. Thank you. Okay, back to the table topics master.
Thank you. So with that, we end the fun segment, the table topic segment, and now over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vineet. It was really a wonderful session. Everyone enjoyed a lot, especially me. Okay, so next part of meeting is monthly awards segment. For this, I would like to call on virtual stage the president of our meeting, Shivangi Mittal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Achal. So I will be presenting the monthly awards for the month of July. And I would like to tell you that the president and the vice presidents are ineligible to receive the awards. So the vice president education, vice president membership, and vice president public relations cannot win the awards. So let's quickly come to the first award, and I would like to request everyone to turn on your cameras and take guesses of who you think could be the winner. So the first award is Screamer of the Month. This award is given to a member on the basis of their performance for club's PR activities. So any guesses who could be the winner? You can unmute and take a guess. Come on. I need more enthusiasm in this meeting.
Zubair.
That is correct. I think you have some insider information on that, so I'm not going to give you the credit, but yes, it is Toastmasters Aware. Congratulations. The second award is Comrade of the Month. This award is given for performance of the member on the basis of their regularity and membership growth activities. So again, all the membership squad team members, do not take a guess. You have an insider information. Anybody else would like to take a guess? Come on.
Is it Deepak sir?
I don't think it is. Any more guesses? Come on. Okay, seeing no responses, let me disclose that the winner of Comrade of the Month is Toastmaster Ritwik. Congratulations.
Thank
The
you so
third
much.
award is Nurturer of the Month, and this award is given to a member on the basis of their role taking and performance in the meeting. So basically, a member who was very regular, was taking good roles, big roles in the meeting, doing them very well. So any guesses? Who could be that person for the month of July?
Toastmaster Anchal.
Toastmaster? Anshul.
Anchal.
Okay, any more guesses? Anybody backing any other member?
Ritvik.
Okay, any more guesses? No one has made the right guess yet, let me tell you. Okay, wrong again. It is actually our table topics master, Toastmaster Vineet. Congratulations. The fourth award is Budding Nurturer. This award is given to a new member on the basis of their role taking and performance, provided that they've not delivered a speech or taken up any main role in the meeting. Any guesses? Who could be the Budding Nurturer for July? I'll give you a hint that member is not present in the meeting today. Any guesses? Okay, this might be a tough one, so I will ease it for you. It is actually Toastmaster Kavya Seth. So congratulations to her. We will get the message across. The next category is Out of the Box Nurturer. This award is given to a member who has done innovation in any role the maximum number of times during a month. So any guesses? Who could be that innovator? Come on, keep the guesses coming in. Toastmaster Achal, Samkit, Anushka. Any guesses? Sadaf, Ankit sir. So, okay, that looks like you're not paying attention in the meetings.
Toastmaster Ritvik Das.
Yes, you are right. It is Toastmaster Ritwik Dash for his innovation with the parliamentarian role. Congratulations. And now the last category, Member of the Month. This award is given to a member on the basis of accumulated points and all the other awards. So who is Member of the Month July? Now I want all of you all to make the maximum number of guesses. Come on.
Obviously, Ritvik.
Okay. Okay, going by everyone's opinion, it is in fact Toastmaster Ritwik. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to all the winners and an encouragement to all the other members to keep contributing, keep taking part and snatch away the awards next month. Thank you and back to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Shivangi. Congratulations, all of you winners. So the next part of our meeting is an important round of Toastmasters meeting. In this round, constructive feedback is given to each speaker as well as the overall meeting conduct so that members can benefit from the experience of evaluators and become better speakers. For this, we have the general evaluator, Toastmaster Gajendra Khare, to conduct the session. He is part of Central Delhi Toastmasters Club for 7 years now and is running his own HR consulting firm. Being a senior and experienced in terms of marriage, when I asked him about his thoughts on marriage, he said, marriage is like capturing two wrestlers in one house. Well, sir, I personally like your thoughts about marriage. now I would like to hand over the session to General Evaluator of the Day, Toastmaster Gajendra Khare. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Achal, for introducing me so well. So before I begin, I just would like to say this is the session in a marriage, like a spouse is a more fugitive to find the fault in us, right? And for getting marriage, we are appointing a full-time general evaluator who is also commenting on us on CRC approach, and that CRC is different. That is criticizing, regretting why I should marry you, why I marry you, and then the consequences. If you will not improve, I will leave the house. So, but if you replace this CRC with the CRC of Toastmasters, I think you can build on the relationship. In commendation, always commendation for your spouse. No recommendation in a better way, in a positive way, and then again commendation. So if you do this, then definitely you will improve the relationship. So without any further ado, as a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the evaluators and in the meeting in general. And I would be keeping my remark in a total meeting, how we have done good and what went wrong. So accordingly, I'll submit my report then. So without any further ado, I would like to invite our evaluators. So our first evaluator in that process is Toastmaster Darshan Singh, who is going to evaluate Toastmaster Pragati's speech. So may I request evaluator Darshan to give your evaluation to our first speaker, Toastmaster Pragati.
I think there is a speaker is on somewhere, so it is a bit disturbing. So can you switch off?
Yes, please go ahead, Toastmaster Darshan.
Okay, so thank you, General Evaluator, sir. So I'm back with my report. So the speaker today gave her icebreaker speech, and it was a well-crafted speech. So what I liked, I will talk about that. So I like the start of the speech where she talked about that all the questions were coming in when she talked about she wanted to go to on the track and alone with all the unknowingly persons. So she put all the questions aside and went away, and she enjoyed a lot. So I like I like that point where she did not put emphasis on that thing when she was being stopped to go to do something new, to achieve something new. So yeah, and there was another phrase I like that where she put a lot of emphasis on that how tiny we are and how rich the beauty is, the mountains and the God have created all those things. So yeah, so I like that thing where the speech was going a bit towards the reality, towards the nature, and the objective. There was the speaker was standing. I like that thing. There was nothing like she was in anxiety mode or nervousness was not on the face, and she was not like speaking for the first time. It was like she's quite mature in the speaking and all those things. And the voice was loud. It was crisp. It was a crispy voice, and it was audible. It was audible. The pace was really appropriate. There was no lags, and it was not too fast or not too slow. And the eye contact was maintained. The speech was absolutely clear. There was no starters in the speech, no shatters also. And it has the opening speech as the perfect speech as a speech structure where there's opening, the body, and the end. And this speech is perfectly, and this speech is everything. There was opening where she talked about she was going on the track, and the body where what she did in the track. She went to the cart godam and all those areas where she tracked, and the ending where she showed the photographs. So this makes a speech more engaging towards the audience, where the people like to what she did and that she displayed in that PPT, the pictures, all those things. What one thing I've noticed that there was, I think there was a screen where she was referring to some notes. Overall, it was absolutely fine because it's an icebreaker, so we can't give recommendation on that. And one thing I noticed that this was not that icebreaker which usually people think. She could have included, she could have added her life about her schooling, about her college, and what was her education, the family, and her working. there was missing in all those things. So what she achieved in her life and whatever her dream goals for the future, she could have put emphasis on that. Overall, the speech was, she had a good command on the speech. There was no anxiety. It was absolutely an impeccable speech. And on the last, I would like to leave as we all would love to listen. It was a great, she had a great command on the speech. And all the best for the future journey, Toastmaster. And we would love to listen to you in the future as well. Thanks. Over to you, General Evaluator, sir.
Thank you, Darshan, for evaluating so beautifully. Now, I would like to invite our second evaluator, Sagar Duggal, who is going to evaluate Sally Verma's speech. So, may I request Sagar to take the virtual stage?
If your words can inspire people around you, I truly believe that this is the biggest asset you have. And today, Toastmaster Shelley's, the entire speech has inspired all of us. Inspired in a way that why shouldn't be fear from the failure, or why shouldn't and why should and why we shouldn't be equally bothered about the failure. And she has also inculcated one example here from skipping 5 days to the school and winning the Best Leader Award for organizing the 2 days event. It was one of the best anecdote. It was one of the best anecdote which she can give to justify the speech. Through her entire speech, it was very evident that she's a very confident speaker, and she has a very amazing voice modulation and the body language. And I must say that her smile is an icing on cake in the entire speech. In a nutshell, I got inspired by your speech. I truly believe that you're an amazing speaker. I truly believe that I truly believe that you are a eloquent speaker. You are what an eloquent speaker you are. Although I have some recommendations for you. First recommendation I have for you. So whenever you are giving such an inspiring speech, it is always good to stand up and then deliver a speech. And this way you would able to use the entire stage and you would able to expand your body to and this way you would able to use the better body language if you would be standing and speaking. I have one more recommendation for you, and this is very critical. I have noticed that in the first 3 minutes of your speech, the agenda was very crystal clear that you are going to talk about the failure and how you have overcome the failure. After 3 minutes, according to me, being an audience, things was a bit mundane. Things was a bit monotonous. How to overcome that? How you can how you could have overcome this. And the one way to overcome this by inculcating one more anecdote from your life. In a nutshell, it was a very wonderful speech. I would love to see you again and again on the virtual stage. And with this, I would like to hand over the stage to the journal evaluator.
Thank you very much for the evaluation, Toastmaster Now I would like to call our third evaluator, who is Ankit Sinha, going to evaluate Toastmaster Ritvik Das' speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. And a special good evening to our speaker, Toastmaster Ritik. If you believe in your content, this thing reflects in your message, this thing reflects in your speech. And that is why our speaker has all three C's. That means conviction, commitment, and the confidence. All these three things were there. And this thing impacted the whole speech. The speaker was very confident. That's why he was looking into the eyes. At least I can see into my eyes. And so it's a screen, so I can believe everyone's eyes. No notes were there. So that means thoroughly prepared. Not sitting at all, standing position. Good thing for this kind of content. Stick to the topic throughout. Was not going here and there. So totally focused approach. He didn't fumble at all. Now move on to certain areas where he can do better in my view. First thing is that when we are going to persuade audience, then we can persuade at two levels. Either we present something that attracts to mind, or we present something that attracts to heart. But in this kind of topic, I believe that we can attract to their heart, emotions. So how we can do this thing? Just present something that audience can visualize. If we are presenting that this thing is not good, situation is very bad, just present it like this. The situation was very bad, all persons are suffering, how people are ailing, and something kind like that. Next thing is that real life experience. It just like everyone knows that we should speak truth. It's very true. But when we present something in a story manner, in an experience manner, then it communicates better. That look, I had suffered this thing. Rather, I followed this approach. That's why I'm here. So this will look more attractive. And next thing is this, that for communicating a high message, for communicating a strong message, our tone need not be that strong. We can lower down a bit. So, but a speaker was thoroughly on this tone throughout. We can be a bit softer. We can communicate big things in a soft voice. So even a hard line works like this zigzag kind of thing. So some life is needed in the content as well. All in all, topic was relatable to everyone, and that was not at all technical thing. Speaker has very good vocabulary. He was very confident, and I love the presentation style. The presentation, the confidence that he presented. Just adding some more content, some emotions and vocal variety can do wonder, and we will see a better Ritik for V2, that is version 2 in the upcoming speech. So with this, I hand over stage back to our general evaluator. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that was, give a huge round of applause for all the evaluators who took time and they were very confident and vigilant to evaluate the speakers. So before I call our supplementary role players, let me discuss about the evaluators, what they did. And if I have found something to offer, and then I would also share. So coming on to the first evaluator, Toastmaster Darshan Singh. Darshan has started giving the commendation, and he started his evaluation with following the CRC approach. He has talked about the nervousness, the energy level, pace, and eye contact, and he has pointed out all the ingredients which the speaker has showcased and in her speech. One thing I would like to give the part of the commendation for the Toastmaster Darshan, because it was an icebreaker speech, and it was the speech related to the her personal journey, and he brought that particular point. Then you have to edit her life story and all other things which were people were get to know about the speaker well, because this is the opportunity where the speaker, especially the icebreaker speaker, can introduce them powerfully and in a very effective manner. So that is the well point Toastmaster Darshan is pointed out. Only what I feel, then the conclusion were missing in his evaluation, because evaluation is also a speech, because it is an opening body and conclusion. So we have to conclude your evaluation in a positive note and to summarize your evaluation accordingly. Coming on to the evaluator 2, Sagar Duggal. Sagar Duggal also has provided a very apt evaluation for the speaker Sally. He has talked about the voice modulation. So I just would like to say, when you are giving any commendation or recommendation, what are the portion of that particular speech where you have felt then the voice modulation were very apt, very good and appropriate? And you have told also, then I mean, the speaker was a very amazing speaker. Then why you felt then she was an amazing speaker? So you have to highlight those qualities, like those incidences, those particular portion in the speech that would add value to your feedback. So this is what I would like to say. Another thing also, the same thing when it is a conclusion, then you have to also weave the words in such a way where you can conclude your message. You have given a recommendation, commendation beautifully, and at the end also then you have to talk about the takeaway and what you have learned out of the speech. So if you can focus on that, then people can learn from it, and then you can also tell your point effectively, what the speaker has narrated, and then what you have felt and what you have learned from the particular speech. Coming on to the evaluation third, Toastmaster Ankit, he is providing evaluation for Toastmaster Ritvik Das, and he's a veteran Toastmasters, and he has started very powerfully. If you believe in the content, and then you can deliver it very effectively, and that I also noticed, and that is beautifully done. Then he has started going into his evaluation. I would like to talk about the softer part. Then he's talk about the softer. Speaker has to lower down the voice. So which portion and which particular incidents he felt, then the speaker must lower down the voice. If you could add it in your evaluation, that would add more value to your this thing. And same apply to the vocal variety. Like there was a couple of incidences where you could involve in your evaluation and the conclusion part. So all the speakers were missing the conclusion. I was looking forward, at least from the Ankit, then he could conclude. Maybe because of the paucity of the time, he had just abruptly ended and then went away. So anyway, so now coming on to our supplementary role players. So coming on to our timer, Anushka Kosi. So may I request Toastmaster, they were very vigilant throughout the meeting, and let them hear from them what they have done so far during the meeting. So Toastmaster Anushka, timer, can you give your report to all of us?
Thank you, General Evaluator. My report is ready. And please give me a quick confirmation if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the icebreaker speech done by TM Pragati was 6 minutes and 48 seconds. There were 18 seconds delay. It could be avoided, but it was overall good. Then prepared speeches by TM Shelley, which is 5 minutes and 46 seconds. TM Ritvik Dash, 7 minutes 20 seconds. And then the table topic speakers, there was TM Rashmi, which is 2 minutes 30 seconds. And then guest Navdeep, 1 minute 48 seconds, and TM Samkit Jain, which was 1 minute 14 seconds, and Rajat Jain, which was 1 minute 30 seconds. And coming to speech evaluators, TM Darshan Singh, the time taken was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And TM Sagar Duggal, which is 3 minutes and 51 seconds. A delay was there. And TM Ankit Sinha was 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Overall, I appreciate it was the speaker spoke within the time allotted. That's all from my end. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Anushka. So I would request all the supplementary role players be crisp and short in while giving your report. So now next, the grammarian Toastmaster Sadaf Asra. So you can present your report.
Good evening again. I'm back with my report. Can you see me? Because there's a network problem my side. Okay. So I can't really share my screen this time. So apology for this. So here's the report. There were so many good uses of English words like skeptical, vigilant, catapult, zenith, impeccable, eloquent. And also there are some good phrases also used like I have the belief that I can do it. I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it even if I am not having it at the beginning. Second is, don't think me, think we. So one of the speakers said, think like a couple in a relationship. It is better way of saying that, think like a team in a relationship. Well, two speakers said in Hindi phrases and also they translated back in English. And there were no so many word of the day uses in their speeches. And Gajendra sir used a word of the day one time. So this is all from my side for today, and I really enjoyed playing the role of language evaluator. Thank you so much. Over to you, Gajendra.
Thank you, Sadaf. Thank you for the crisp and good report. Now coming on to the R counter, Sparshita Verma. So Sparshita, can you present your report?
Yes, sure. So my report goes like this. TM Achal has used 2 filler sounds. TM Anushka has used 2 filler sounds and 1 repetitive word, which was a lot. TM Praveen has used 1 filler sound and 1 repetitive word. TM Rajan has used 8 filler sounds, 1 repetitive phrase, which was it makes, and 1 short pause. TM Tarun has taken no filler word, so kudos to him. And TM Ritvik has used 1 filler word, which was TM Vineet has used 3 filler sounds and 1 filler word. TM Darshan has used the filler sound 13 times. TM Sagar has used 3 filler sounds. TM Ankit has used 1 filler sound. TM Shelly has taken a short pause. TM Rashmi has used 1 filler sound. Yes, Navdeep has used 9 filler sounds and 5 filler words. The filler word was TM Sankit has used 1 filler sound, and TM Rajat has used 10 filler sounds. Other than that, TM Rupal, Shivangi, Sadaf, and Mr. Tarun were flawless. So kudos to those, and yes, encouragement to those who are consistently trying their best to avoid the use of filler words. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sparshita, for wonderful report. Now coming on to the parliamentarian Praveen Kumar. So may I request parliamentarian Praveen Kumar to present your report?
Yes. Thank you, General Evaluator. And I will submit my report. So during the meeting, the audio was kept muted at all times by everyone, and there were not any disturbances or issues during the speeches. And only instance was that the video was turned off at many times by many people. So apart from this, the meeting was well conducted and there were not any issues or any troubles. So thank you, and this was all from my side, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Praveen, for the crisp and beautiful report. Now coming on to Toastmaster Rajan as a listener. He will test our listening skills. So may I request Toastmaster Rajan, please take the virtual stage and test our listening skills, Toastmaster Rajan.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now it's time to check who all were actively listening to the meetings. So I will start shooting the questions, and those who would like to volunteer to answer the questions can raise their hands. So my first question is, what was the name of the track Speaker 1 Pragati Jain mentioned in the icebreaker? Any volunteer, please? Okay. What was the name of the track Speaker 1 Pragati Jain mentioned in her icebreaker speech?
Can I answer?
Okay, Toastmaster Anchal Jain, please answer.
Was it Rutang?
No.
Can I give it a try? Toastmaster Sagar.
Yeah, sure.
Hemkund.
Hemkund. No.
May I give the try?
Yeah.
Is Junar Gali?
No.
I think can I give it a try? I think I'll
Yes.
be close. I think
Yes.
it's Roopkund. Something
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. It was Rupkund track. Okay. So my next question is, where is guest Nikhil from? He mentioned the name of the city while he's in the introduction part. Any volunteer? Yeah, Toastmaster Anchal, please go ahead.
Somewhere in Assam.
No, not at all. Yeah, Toastmaster Samkit Jain, please go ahead.
I think Jaipur.
Yeah, that is the right answer. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Samkit Jain. So my next question is, what was the definition of husband by joke master Tarun Nanda? Yeah, our counter, Spachita, please go ahead.
Okay, so who says sorry even when he is right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Kudos to you. Okay, so who won the award for the budding nurture of the July month? Toastmaster Ritik Das is raising his hand.
Yeah, so it's Team Kavya Shet.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, my next and last question is, what is the view of Toastmaster? What is the view of Journal Evaluator Gajendra Khare about marriage according to Toastmaster of the day? Yes, yeah, Deepak Menon sir, please go ahead.
He had an analogy of two wrestlers at home. So that's what marriage is for him. I'd like to see him wrestle with his wife though.
That is right. Thank you. This was all from my side. Over to you, Journal Evaluator of the day.
Thank you. Listener Rajan. So give a huge round of applause for all the supplementary role players. They have worked they were thoroughly vigilant during the meeting. So thank you for your report. Now coming on to my report as a general evaluator. So we'll be starting from the Sergeant at Arms. As meeting started well in time, and all the people, all the role players were there in the room except few, but they were the evaluators. So they were confirmed their presence. So it's a well done the job by the EC. So Rupal Jain, today I took, he was smiling, he was energetic, and he is introduced President nicely. So I have no recommendation for the Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Rupal. Coming on to the Shivangi Mittal. Shivangi is always smiling, a good smile on her face, and that imbibed the energy in the meeting, and she did beautifully, and she is consistently doing that, introducing the guest in a great energy and enthusiasm, full of energy. And today message was very good. Like she talked about the Bhutan and the gross national happiness, and you have to breathe for relax and rejuvenate. So it's a very good message, and I will take care of it. So great thing. And one thing I would like to mention for Toastmaster or the President Shivangi Mittal, because she always not to forget to mention when his guest has to stay back, they can participate in the table topic session and to remind them, and it is very good thing. I think that ensure the quality of the meeting, and then people are very much sure what they are supposed to do and which segment they can participate. So it's well done. Coming on to the Toastmaster Achal Jain, the theme of the meeting, marriage, a celebration, and is brought me long back, 20 years back when I used to be the groom one day. Anyway, so now this part, the day has gone. But what is I like about the Toastmaster Achal, because she was thoroughly prepared. So I would like to comment on various things. She was prepared and she is presented in a slide, asking the question, keeping the audience engaged all the time, collected all the biographies of each individual speakers, calling them the way the speakers are called and they feel comfortable. So she ensured that speakers are coming on a virtual stage and they feel comfortable. So it's very well done. Asking the audience to open the camera again and again, that is also very good thing when to make meeting more lively, especially the role players you have, in you have mentioned specifically during your TMOD address, and asking the clapping and the ballots were collected well in time, asking feedback after each speech. So all the things, I think it was beautifully done. But couple of things I would like to, one recommendation only for the Toastmaster, because you have done a tremendous job today. Only thing is that I would looking forward to hear your personal experience. Like if you could involve somewhere in the this thing, then what you have learned and I can learn from you as a spouse, so that I could improve my marital life, or I can make more happier life than I have now. So I was looking forward to it. Other than that, you are awesome today. Now coming on to the table topic session, Toastmaster Vineet Nair. Vineet Nair has introduced the session beautifully. He has ensured that guests could participate. Only one recommendation for Toastmaster Vineet is that he has prepared a lot, because he had shown in the slide. So everything he was fantastically done. But what I feel, in the topics were little longer. If you could make the topics little shorter, so that the speaker could digest quickly and they can then start speaking, because it was the incidents what I found, then you have to repeat the topic 2 or 3 times to digest the topic and to speak on. So that is only the one recommendation I would like to give the table topic master. Other than that, it was very good. Now coming on to our commandos who were vigilant throughout the meeting, they were all prepared. All the supplementary role players, they ensured them they have introduction with the theme. Everyone ensured them they have prepared their initial introduction according to the theme. So I would like to be special mention, because they were all prepared. They have make a special mention to the Anushka. They prepared a PowerPoint slide with clear message showed. She has worked hard to prepare her role. Timer card well displayed in time, call in time, and then the report were crisp and clear. So very well job done. I have no recommendation for Toastmaster Anushka Rushi. Grammarian also displayed the word of the day in the group and started the same. So I have already mentioned that. As same in case Sparshita. So I have no recommendation, only the one recommendation, because for few people she has mentioned then which word is used, filler sound and filler word, for she has not told for all. So if you could tell for which speaker has used what words specifically, because we are here to learn like what the mistakes we are committing on while we are speaking. So it is a hindrance of our speaking. Parliamentarian, it was very good. Self-discipline, I like the analogy which he brought. Then the marriage also require a discipline. If you are not disciplined, then you have interruption in the marriage. So I like that, and I think the report was very good. So it is special mention I would like to do for that. Toastmaster Rajan, introduction were little long, so finish it at 1.5 minutes, because as a listener introduction, it took a little more time. So you have to, because the time you take more than it is, killing the others time. So when you are a supplementary role player in allotted 1.5 minutes, then you have to finish your introduction well in time. So that we can conclude and open the meeting well in time. Now I'm rushing late, so I will not take much of time, but I would like to give some journal observation, word of the day written on a timer card. That was a recommendation given in some journal evaluation topic, and we have accepted and we are following that practice. So I really want to comment on that. It's good. One more general recommendation what I have found, because one speaker had changed and I was not informed even as a general evaluator. So I would like to give the commendation or recommendation for the EC team, especially the VP education or the quality team. Then when there is any changes in the speaker order, speaking order, then notify at least the main role players well in advance. and speakers and evaluators side by side screen. That is also I have not seen in any club. So I would want to comment on that also, because we have improved so far, and then EC is doing a tremendous job and they deserve a huge round of applause. So with this, I would like to conclude my general evaluation, because now it's still a little more time to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day. So, but that's from my side. And you can also, I think the supplementary role player ballot has been raised. No?
No, it hasn't.
Okay, so then you can raise that because you have to call it from first side. So that is a recommendation for me. Then I have to call a ballot well in advance before I have to give my report, and I'll take care in future. So now you can raise the ballot.
The polls for the best auxiliary role player are now on everyone's screens. Let's vote in the next 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1.
And best evaluator also.
And we're closing the polls now. Thank you.
Best evaluator.
The polls are now on screens. Please vote.
I think I was in the flow. I have to ensure that I have to call the ballot beforehand. So this I have observed this recommendation, and I'll take care of it in future.
Okay, closing the polls now. Thank you, everyone. Back to the general evaluator.
So now I'm okay. So now I would like to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Gajendra sir. You all might be thinking, how is marriage correlated to Toastmasters? Why a theme like marriage? The answer is, as marriage is filled with integrity, respect, service, excellence, so is the journey of Toastmasters. The various roles taken by different speakers, auxiliary role players, the role of president, other team members is a role of integrity, respect, and responsibility. So a huge round of applause for all the team players on the screen and off the screen who are making every effort to make each and every meeting a grand success. Kudos to them. So before I hand over the stage to the president, I would like to play a song for you. As general evaluator has pointed out, I should have included one personal experience. So this song is dedicated to that. Okay, that's all from my side. That was totally a joke. Thank you. Over to President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Achal, for that theme that was with mixed emotions, I must say. Some funny moments, some romantic moments, and some other moments. Thank you. Well, now let's quickly launch the polls for the best role play. Tech Master to please launch the polls. Let's vote. This is the last time to cast your vote. Let's do that very quickly in the next 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and closing the polls now. Thank you. Okay, so very quickly, let's announce the results. First, coming to the best auxiliary role player. After a very tough competition between the timer and the joke master, the winner today is the joke master, Toastmaster Tarun. Congratulations. Moving to the best speaker. 3 speakers today. Any guesses? Who could it be? Come on, 3 speakers today. Toastmaster Pragati. Okay, well, it is in fact Toastmaster Ritwik. Congratulations on your winning streak today.
Thank you so much.
Next is the best evaluator. 3 evaluators today, and very quickly we're running out of time, so I'm going to announce the result. It is Toastmaster Ankit Sinha. Congratulations, sir. Next role player is the best table topic speaker. We had 4 speakers today, and the winner today is Toastmaster Rashmi Sikri. Congratulations. And finally, the grand prize, the best role player. I can manage to take out some 10 minutes extra. Anyone wants to guess? Any guesses very quickly?
Toastmaster Gajendra.
Toastmaster Achal Jain.
Okay, more guesses.
Toastmaster Achal Jain.
And going by everyone's opinion, it is in fact the TMOD Toastmaster Achal. Congratulations. Okay, congratulations to all the role players. Now I would request everyone to kindly turn on their cameras for a group picture. It's the perfect time to flaunt your smiles. So more cameras turning in. Sparshita, guest Ajay, Rashmi ma'am. Come on, more cameras turning in. Can I get a V for virtual? And